Hi guys, it's Krista. You're here in my office, and today we're going to be discussing a topic, as I said, near and dear to my heart, and that's the subject of birth trauma. Now, you might have already seen my other video on the subject, what is birth trauma and what does it look like? If not, I'll make sure to have the link down below. For those of you who've seen the video and think that you or a loved one might be suffering from birth trauma, I wanted to make this follow-up video to share 4 things that I want you to know right now if you think that I might be talking to you. The first one I need you to hear loud and clear is that you can absolutely be grateful for the health of yourself and your baby and still have birth trauma. There is a well-intentioned, maybe, but very misguided idea that as long as you have a healthy baby, or as long as you are physically healthy after all of the recovery time, then you should be nothing but grateful, and there's no space for you to have anything else or any other feelings. This is simply untrue. You can absolutely be grateful that your baby is healthy and still feel the effects of birth trauma. They are both possible. One does not cancel the other out. The second thing I want you to know if you or a loved one is suffering from birth trauma is that it is entirely possible to have what's considered a medically normal birth in the eyes of care providers and still have the effects of birth trauma. This is something that's not always understood or realized, even by those providers who are well-intentioned. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot more that goes into what makes an experience traumatic than what the care providers necessarily are going to record and document on paper. That's something for another day, as it's too in detail to get here, but I just want you to know that whether or not it was medically normal is a separate situation from whether or not you have birth trauma. The third thing I want you to know is that you are not alone. Research shows us that over 30% of women describe their birth experience today as traumatic. Up to 8% of them have fully diagnosable PTSD as a result of their birth experiences. Unfortunately, this is a growing trend, and we're only beginning to understand it or understand why. But in the meantime, what I need you to know from my heart to yours is that you are not alone. And finally, the fourth thing that I want you to know is that there is hope. Trauma is highly treatable. I have some of my favorite treatment methods. There are many others. I will link to some of that information down below, including other videos on the subject. But the important thing you need to take home is that trauma is treatable. You are not alone. You do not have to suffer by yourself. And you can be grateful for a healthy baby and even your own health and still have birth trauma. That's all the time I have for today. As always, if you find this helpful, please hit like, comment, share, or subscribe. Your support is always appreciated. Until next time, thanks for spending your time with me.